Gear.
Welcome to the podcast, the GGrated podcast. I'm Solid Snake. I'm Josh Gray. It is October 22nd, 2023, and we're doing the Metal Gear Solid podcast. It's a GG rating show.
Guys,
what's up, bro?
welcome. I'm going to keep the same momentum going here. Welcome to the podcast of all podcasts. And today, we got a very special one. Metal Gear Solid, the OG Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation 1. That's all I got.
Yes, dude. I'm so excited for this because, believe it or not, I did not ever beat this game until last week.
What?
I played it some. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It. Like, I beat all the other games mostly. I mean, there might have been one or two that I missed on like PSP or the original Nintendo game. But as far as like 2, 3, 4, and 5, like I beat all those. I beat there's another one I don't remember. It was on PlayStation Portable that I did beat. But there's been more than you think that there is. But the mainline ones, I beat them all except for this one. And dude, I can't believe I missed this one because this was a blast. I had so much fun playing it.
Dude, I beat it back when I was, high school, whatever, 16 or whatever it came out. But I remember it because of the ending with Metal Gear and stuff. But I think we'll get into it a little bit more and stuff. Just am I right? I just want to make sure because I didn't beat it this time. I played a good bit of hours, but I didn't get a chance to finish it this time before this rating. I know you did, but didn't it end up like where you end up in the snow outside at the end or something? Correct?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a long time now, but that's how memorable it's been though for me.
Dude, the ending, and dude, there's actually multiple endings to this game.
Oh.
But we're gonna get into it. Yeah, it's crazy because there's a torture scene, and depending on how you do in the torture scene depends on how it ends up. And we got to talk about that too because I tried to do good at that part, but like I even like remapped buttons on my Steam Deck so that because you got to hit buttons to stay alive.
Yeah.
And dude, it was crazy. But
okay. Well, first off, man, how's your week been though? Before we get into this GG rating for Metal Gear Solid and everything, how's your week been? Pretty busy?
Yeah, it's been pretty busy. It's been good but busy. How about yours?
Had my daughter's 13th birthday party with 20-something teenagers. You know? So you and that soundboard.
How's it going?
It's going.
Hey.
We had 20-something teenagers, so I think that kind of explains it pretty good in reference to it.
Great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But other than that, man, that's been about it. Not too much going on. Went to the game Tuesday, South Alabama. That's why I'm repping the South Alabama shirt. They beat Southern Miss 55-3. I actually got to go out on the field and be recognized as a donor of the game because I'm a season ticket holder.
I saw that, dude. That's really cool.
Yeah. They wanted a first responder as well as a donor, which I'm a season ticket holder, so we have to donate some money to the school and stuff. And so they called me onto the field with my good buddy Sanchuan and gave me an autographed football from the head coach. So it was super cool to be able to do that. Got some good pictures. Went to the game with my buddy Mistro and had an awesome time, man. Wish you was here, dude. I would have, I had an extra ticket. You could have came and everything if you lived a little bit closer.
Yeah, dude. So you sent me a picture of you on the field, and I was like, "Cool." I don't know what's going on, but cool. Like I didn't have any idea. That's really
I don't think he's supposed to be on the field, but hey, it looks cool.
Yeah, I was like, neat, man.
Yeah,
what's happening? But you got actually like honored at the game. That's really cool.
Yeah. They put my name on the big giant billboard at the top and everything. It was a pretty cool little gesture,
You're just
man.
like your uncle,
You're just like your uncle,
This is going to be a great show, guys. Guys, with that being said, let me go ahead and throw
Yes.
out there.
Yes.
We're on Apple
Yes.
Podcasts,
Yeah.
Apple Music. Go ahead. Yes. Apple Music,
Yeah.
Spotify, Amazon Music.
You're
Did I
a
already
tough
say that?
lady.
We're on all those platforms, guys. Make sure you hit the follow button. We have a new episode every Monday morning at 7 a.m. And on YouTube, the podcast will be released Tuesday mornings around 7 a.m. as well. So if you like what you're hearing and you enjoy it, please help us out. It helps greatly to subscribe, like, drop a comment down below. We try to read them as well. So thank y'all for stopping in, man. I'm excited about it. So anyway.
Please talk to me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Is this all?
I
Where'd
could
you
just do
find
this the
this?
whole
Where'd
time.
you find this soundboard?
It's a Metal Gear Solid soundboard.
You just found it online?
Yeah.
How's it going?
How's it going?
We should just
All right,
stream the
got it.
game on here and just use the soundboard the whole time while we're playing the
dude,
game.
and let me tell you, this game had some of the best dialogue back and forth. Was so like it's all over the place. It's like a soap opera.
Yeah,
Like
it
I
is.
know all of these other games are like that, but it seemed like this one was cranked up to 11
Naomi.
because like there was like twist after twist. I don't know if you remember them all, but there are so many twists and turns and like what? No way. Great.
Well, the good news is I don't think we have to worry about spoilers too much. I mean, it has been released for like 30 years, or 20 years, but it is a great game, dude. I mean, I still remember the best thing for me. I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there is Psycho Mantis. When obviously you can't do it now, right? Because we don't have a drive, a PlayStation drive or whatever cover that you have to close. But I remember it used to literally open the cover, or he'll get you to open up the game or something like that.
So crazy.
Yeah. So
it read the memory card and it could tell like what you've done in the game, and then in order to be able to beat him, you have to actually switch the controller port to the other port, or like he can tell all of your moves, and it would take forever to beat him. It'd be like almost impossible. So you actually got to switch the controller over to the other spot. So I had to do that through Ducky Station on the Steam Deck. I had to actually go through and change the ports over so that I could complete it.
really?
Yeah, like that's kind of the trick to beating them is to change your ports.
Did you have?
Which is
So you
wild.
had to do that?
Yeah,
On
basically you. Huh?
on Ducky, like I know we use Ducky Station, the emulator,
Yeah.
but
So, like, if you were on the PlayStation back in the day, you would have had to have like unplug your controller and plug it in the other port, or either just use your other controller that's already plugged in
yeah.
to the other port, and then he'll start to take more damage from you. So in order to simulate that in Ducky Station, I had to actually go into the
Ooh.
controls and do it digitally, change over to the other port.
Oh, okay.
Favorite gaming moment of the week?
Gaming moment? I'm gonna throw it up here. I took a quick video. It was actually today, which was pretty cool. And I wasn't even playing, but I bought the new Super Mario Wonders game that just got released, and I did play with my daughter. That was an awesome moment as well. But I have a little video of my son and my daughter sitting on my son sitting on the floor eating crackers, playing the game, not knowing what he's doing, and my daughter's up on the couch. I sent it to you. That's right. And they was playing Super Mario Wonders and stuff, having a blast. So that was my favorite moment for the week, man.
Very good. Very good.
What about yours?
So anyway, yeah. I gotta say, mine was playing Metal Gear Solid. Just having a blast because like you've already beat it and we've already talked about it. You beat it back in the day, which is impressive by the way, because I was able to like load state to any point in the game because I'm like emulating it.
Yeah.
So I could play it over and over without having to go to the continue screen again. I could save at any point. But
Ah.
yeah, but dude, just
Well, you can save
going back.
with what's her name, Chi, or what's her name at
Yeah,
140.96.
yeah, you can save with her, but also you can save using Ducky Station so that it'll save like at any moment where you don't even have to go on the radio. But I did both. But I would say playing that and just getting to experiencing it, all the nostalgia and getting to still enjoy the story was really cool because they kind of go back to it and stuff, especially on Metal Gear Solid 4. You get to like revisit Shadow Moses and everything over again. But now, like seeing it how it would have been back in the day was really cool. Like I used to play it back in the day, but I didn't ever get that far. I would always stop playing. So there was a few moments in there. Let's see. There's a couple moments where, and it's okay if I do spoilers or whatever, but you're trying to
Yeah.
get three. You have a card, and depending on the temperature, it'll change what the card does in order to shut down a computer system. So when you do all three, all of a sudden the room fills up with gas, and you're literally gonna die if you don't figure out how to get out of there. And it's like this cool twist that's like they're just like, here you go. Like you're
Yeah.
just left out there. And there was a bunch of things like that to where it's like, hey, if you don't figure this out, and especially if you didn't save your game, you could be screwed here. Um, so it was really neat to do that, and ended up I was gonna look it up, like I paused, and I was gonna Google it, and then I was like, wait a second, I'm gonna try to call Otacon. So I called him, and he's like, wait 1 second, I'll be right there, and he opened up the door for me.
Oh,
So it was
by calling him over there. By
yeah,
just calling
which
him,
was
he came
really
over there.
neat. Like I tried to like shoot out the windows, like I was trying a bunch of different things, and then all of a sudden I was about to die, and I was like, "Wait a second, I need to call him," and I did, and that's how I got out of it. So that was my favorite
Sweet.
gamer moment. It was pretty neat.
Yeah, that game, I think the reason I beat it so long ago is I got sucked into it kind of like you did. So
Bro, it's
easily.
impressive that you beat it too, because there's some spots on there that is hard, and if
Yeah.
I couldn't like try over and over
You,
again, that it would have been
you know what I
difficult.
used to do is when I beat it, like I had a save file just before you face against Metal Gear at the end. I used to love that boss battle so much.
Yeah,
And if I remember correctly, it like shoots rockets or something out at you if I remember correctly.
yeah,
Am I right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You are.
So I used to love it so much that I would beat that boss, and then like I remember at the end, uh, I remember at
Hold
the
on one
end.
second, I got a visitor.
What's up,
Hey,
Sheppy?
buddy. I'm almost done. You're gonna have to give me. Okay, we can play
That's
Spider-Man in
awesome.
just a little bit. Okay, go back to your room.
He's ready for
Anyways, I'm
Spider
sorry.
Man.
What were you saying?
No, I was just saying. By the way, Spider
So
Man
anyway.
apparently. So anyway, that Spider Man game's legit, is what I hear. The new one. But
Oh, okay.
um, I
This is
always
no
had that.
game.
I would have that save file, and I would just beat the Metal Gear and then watch the ending all the time, like the cutscene, because I love cutscenes. I know a lot of people's like,
Yeah.
"There's too many cutscenes." I love cutscenes, man,
Well, if
because
you love cutscenes, this is the game for you, buddy, because
that,
there's plenty of
and
them.
that's why I did it. That's why I did it so much, is just to watch these cool cutscenes. Because back in the day, it's like you're watching a movie on a video game system, right? You got to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was so cool. But I'm glad you enjoyed that, man. So that's a cool
Yeah, I had a
gaming
lot of
moment.
fun with it.
Just having some fun with that.
Yep.
You
It was
got
pretty cool gaming moment.
you want to go to the next section with some gaming news, man?
Yeah, dude. What you got as far as news for us? Let's get Snake to hit us to the next part.
They'll use Metal Gear to do it.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fine. Gaming news.
let's go with it.
Thanks.
I can't help it with you, man. That's
Stay
awesome.
the hell out of my way.
Okay, Solid Snake. Just chill out. Go
Uh,
ahead, Gino. I'm sorry.
so anyway, um, I think the only gaming news I can kind of really throw out there, that's kind of hitting the news a little bit. Spider-Man 2 has been released with Venom and everything. Apparently, it's got huge
Venom's
ratings.
in it?
Venom's in it, yes.
I didn't
You
know
actually get
Venom
to
was in this one.
play as the symbiote. You know how it takes over Spider-Man? They showed that in trailers, so I'm not
that's cool.
spoiling anything. It's in the trailers. But you get to actually have like certain powers, like Venom does and everything, as Spider-Man. So I don't know the whole story, but they have a lot of appearances from some villains and stuff like that in this game. So it's supposed to be pretty, and it looks really good, man. You know, I'm not I'm always a huge Xbox fan, but like I'm a PlayStation fan as well. You know, so I'm glad that PlayStation had a very good release. Insomniac has been killing it for PlayStation, killing it.
For sure.
You know, at Ratchet and Clank, you know, the Spider-Man games. They got a Wolverine game coming out soon in the next couple years.
That sounds exciting. I'd love to play as Wolverine.
Yeah, so they got that. Obviously, Mario Wonders. It's over 90 in Metacritic. I think it's like a 92 or something. I think this was the first Spider-Man 2 going back. It's the first Insomniac game in like 20 years that they've got in the 90s on Metacritic for ratings. And, you know, we specialize in ratings, so we kind of pay attention to that sort of stuff. So I thought that was kind of huge, and that speaks a lot about that game. That's pretty much it, man. Those two games were kind of going back and forth. Sonic Superstars came out as well. It didn't do so hot, but it's a 2D Sonic, man. I'm going to buy it at some point, you know, and play it. So 2D Sonic, 2D Mario, and then Spider-Man 2. So three big games from everybody. So
wow. Yeah, that's some I'm sure there's going to be a lot of talks about that as it develops. I know that first Spider-Man game, my son really likes it, and he's not quite at the age where he should be playing it, so there's some parts we got to kind of be careful with.
Yeah.
Because it does get kind of dark with the group. They call themselves the Demons.
I beat that game. Yeah.
Yeah, but he really likes the battle system on there, and he's starting to really get the ropes of it, man. It like
really
he can start beating the mess out of people. Yeah, it's really fun.
That's awesome.
So
that's
been enjoying playing that together.
That's the biggest thing with Spider-Man, not Spider-Man, but Super Mario Wonders. It's such a good co-op game. Like they can literally, you can drag them along the screen, and then if they get too far behind, they'll float them back to you. So Shep can just be sitting there jumping around, not knowing what he's doing, my Shep. And then next thing you know, he floats back to me, and then he respawns on me the whole time. So he can go through the whole level, and he can still have his fun. You know, so it's still a great time. You know, they need more games like that, man, to kind of bring them along and let them experience the game. So I know you said on the last podcast that you're able to kind of control his controller when you need to. So that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we've there was Mario for the Wii that we play on emulation, and it kind of does the same thing. When a character dies or whatever, they end up in a bubble, and you got to pop it to bring them back. I don't know if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like a little bubble, and then it gets popped. Yeah.
Yep.
But they have an online. They have an online now with this co-op. I wish you had a Switch, man.
Really?
You need to get a Switch.
I do.
I know. You got to get a Switch.
Eventually.
Yeah, you got to get the next one's coming out soon. The Switch 2. There's been leaks everywhere. It should be coming out soon. So you're gonna have to get a Switch 2 at least or something. But,
no doubt.
But
I'm definitely gonna get one.
Definitely being a huge Zelda fan like you are. Definitely need to.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, speaking of, you know what else I picked up this week? It had 50% off on Skyward Sword. Did you see that picture I sent to you of that?
Oh yeah, Skyward Sword.
Dude, I couldn't beat it. I was like, dude, I picked up Super Mario Wonders and I was like 50% off. Like this, you know, that's so I got it for like 20. I had a $10 off coupon as well for GameStop. So I ended up getting it for $25.
Yeah,
Skyward Sword. And it's a $60 game. You know, so
Skyward Sword. So did it originally come out on
no
on Switch, or was it on like Wii U or something?
Was it? I don't think it was Wii U. I think it was GameCube, wasn't it?
Oh,
And then
was
they
it GameCube?
they redid it for HD or something, right? I don't think it. No,
Oh,
Breath of the Wild actually came out on Wii U. That's what you're thinking of.
right.
And then
Yeah,
they redid.
that's the one I play on my Steam Deck
Mm-hmm.
a lot, but um I wanted to say Skyward Sword I could get to somehow. I don't know what it was out on though,
Yeah,
but
it's
I'm gonna
GameCube, I
have to
think.
play it. Let me know if it's any good because I want to play it.
Just gotta find the time, man. I'm so stuck on Super Mario Wonders right now. You know, I'm gonna beat that game
Yeah,
soon. But
I feel you,
um,
dude.
well, with that being said, man, do you want to jump into the GG rating and kind of walk through it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a little bit of this. Let's see what let's see what this is right here. Oh yeah. Let me tell you, there are some bangers as far as music goes on Metal Gear Solid. But I'm just going to use this to kind of open with
You have the floor, baby. Go with it.
and go into what is our GG rating. Our GG rating is our industry standard for video game rating systems. We go over graphics, music, story, gameplay, multiplayer, fun factor. We average these up and give you the GG rating so you can know if this is a good game worth playing or not. Let's see if Metal Gear Solid holds up. Raiden. No, this is the wrong game. Meryl. But
Wait,
yeah, so
you know what it makes me think of when you say Meryl? I'm thinking of Meryl from like The Walking Dead. You ever saw The Walking Dead? Isn't one of the guys named
yeah.
Daryl's brother? Isn't it Meryl?
I don't know. I don't remember. Snake is a horn dog in this game too, by the way.
He is. Yeah. He flirts immediately
with everybody.
And then they like think he's such a legend. They're like, oh yes, Snake, solid Snake.
There's this one scene where he's talking about Meryl's butt, and he's like, "You have a nice butt." It's funny.
Speaking of that, real quick, do you remember at the very beginning of the game, something I did play is when the hostage is in there, the girl hostage, I guess, or prisoner, the girl prisoner, and she escapes after they get done shooting all the bad guys trying to come in on them, and she goes to leave and do like a slow motion of her butt leaving, like she's moving her butt. And he says later on the comm, he says, well, don't give yourself away. And he's like, I'm not going to do that. And it's like, I'm in uniform. It's like, I'm talking about you walking, the way you walk.
Yeah, he says your walk gives it away.
And you know what he was talking about. He was talking about when he, watched her leaving, going to the elevator,
Yeah, that's kind of early on, isn't it? When he helps him to escape the jail cell.
Yes, yeah, it is. It's pretty early on, really.
There's another moment that's kind of on into the game after you get tortured, where you got to escape a jail cell again, and there's various ways that you can do it. You can either do it by hiding, and then when the guard comes
under
back,
the bed, right?
Like, yeah, and then there's another one where you can use a little bit of Otacon drops by because he's invisible like the whole game. He's got on that invisible suit, which why he didn't just give that to you, I don't know. But he brings you a bottle of ketchup or something, and he's like, "Here, this will help," and you use that to pretend like you're dead. I didn't ever do that one. I just hid under the bed, but.
Oh, so you did the bed one. I was going to ask you which one you did.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like little things like that, like game mechanics that were just so fresh back in the day. Like no game has done stuff like that at this time. And even after, I mean, like this game still feels like, as far as the mechanics go, like I'm not talking about the controls and all that, but just the different things that they did to make you really feel immersed in it.
Do you really? I like the AIs. What you're talking about, like how immersed.
They're really good.
They're really good. It's so funny to me. It cracks me up whenever they find a clue, or like you said, if you put the ketchup bottle on yourself and they walk in, they're like, "What's that?" huh?
What's
They
that?
go,
What
huh?
was that noise? Yeah.
And you
What
know
was
it's
that noise?
huh?
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 Then it's like,
Yeah, but- so
I need to find
it's
that soundboard.
I know. It's so good though. Um, it's not just mindlessly wandering around and stuff like that. You really feel like they're like looking and they're looking at clues. Like if you splash at the very beginning, do you remember when you're just trying to get to the elevator and you splash into the water?
Mr. Box.
There you go.
Hold on.
What's that?
Sorry.
What was that noise? Whose footprints are these? Mr. Box. I heard something.
There he is. This way.
Get out of the way. Eat this. Where'd he go?
Return to your positions.
That was all of them.
That's
But
it though. That's
anyways,
all
what
the
we said-
noises that we're talking about though. You know, it's
What was that
so
noise?
good.
What was that noise? That one's my favorite.
But I
as
was
you were saying, I'm
as I
sorry.
was saying, do you remember when there's like puddles of water even and you step into the water and it's too close to an enemy, they will literally be
Yeah,
like,
dude.
"What's that? What's that noise?"
Yeah.
And so they can hear the water when you splash. I mean, this is PlayStation 1 now,
I
okay?
know, dude.
So,
Wobbly polygons everywhere,
yeah.
but still, honestly, they like used every bit of that power of that system that they could, because even when you walk in the bathroom, you can see your reflection in the
Yeah.
mirror, dude.
I mean, come on.
like
That's
that was probably mind blowing back in the day, because
we was
there's games
talking
even
about that
now
on the
that don't do
Ghostbusters
that.
game. Remember that?
Yeah,
And you was
Yeah,
so
it's
amazed that they
crazy.
did that the Ghostbusters game, which is a
yeah.
Xbox One. So yeah, that's
That
huge.
to me is a staple for like if they put in the detail of this being a good game. If you can see reflections, it's like whoa, they went the extra mile,
Yeah.
because that means they have to render it out twice. I think like that they have to do something there to where it would be easy just to not do it, but they did it.
But the story is huge, man. Like that's what kind of keeps you sucked in. It's the story. I feel like
Story is crazy.
if you didn't have the story, you know, I feel like it would be cool and everything. But would you revisit it? We revisit it because we want to see the story. We got new games coming out. New HD collection just got released. Oh, it's coming out on the 28th for Metal Gear Solid. So,
Mhm.
all that sort of stuff, man, is huge. I think is what made us revisit this. But
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure that everybody that is listening to this has played Metal Gear Solid, but what it comes down to is you're Solid Snake and you're sent to this place called Shadow Moses in order to take down Metal Gear, which Metal Gear is pretty much a vehicle or machine that's able to it has the capabilities to launch nuclear weapons from anywhere, so it's mobile. And other things break out, and like the story twists and turns all over the place. But that's kind of the gist of it as you start. Like you're there in order to like shut that down.
well,
So, what's up?
no, I was just gonna say, it kind of ties into all the Metal Gears later on and stuff as well. You know, you don't realize
Yeah.
that, but I think it's. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it like, is it the prequel or is it like kind of in the middle and then they do a prequel later or something like that? This ain't the very beginning of it, is it?
Oh,
Because he already
man.
knew about
Dude.
Metal Gear.
Yeah, so he had to take down somebody called Big Boss in the original Metal Gear Solid, which was on the Nintendo, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, on this one, you're playing as Solid Snake, and I don't think he knows that he's actually a clone of Big Boss. So they used some big soldier, like who they thought was one of the best soldiers ever, in order to clone him, and they also cloned his brother in the same like
Mhm.
womb, I think. Liquid Snake, but
Liquid
they
Snake,
took
yeah.
the best parts out of both like embryos and they made Solid Snake. And he's supposed to be like the perfect soldier. And you actually play as Big Boss in Metal Gear Solid 5. That's actually Big Boss. That's not this.
See, I never played that. I
Snake.
mean, that'd be pretty cool. Have to actually do that.
Yeah, but like you look just like Snake, but it's actually not the same Snake. If I'm not mistaken, I mean, like I could be a little off on
Yeah.
that because the story's so crazy that it's just like it's hard to follow.
So many
But
twists.
yeah, exactly. But to me, the one that closely follows after this game is actually Metal Gear Solid 4. So Metal Gear Solid 4, you're playing as this Snake, but you're older because the fox dye that's in your blood, which is some sort of it's like a virus that they put inside of certain people in order to kill them. Um, and you have this in your blood, but I think it ends up making you turn old really fast. And you're playing as Old Snake in Metal Gear Solid 4. And
Hmm.
again, that might not be totally accurate, but that's kind of the gist of it.
Okay. So that
Because they talk about it's called Fox Die. It actually kills two people in this game, and it's something that they were actually injected with that kills them.
okay. So you looked into it, the background a little bit more, obviously, because I didn't know too much. It's kind of fuzzy. Like I said, I beat them before, and I think I beat Twin Snakes. I think which is next Metal Gear Solid, the next one
It
in the
might be.
trilogy.
See, I
Um,
didn't ever play that one. I didn't play Twin Snakes.
Yeah, but I don't think I ever beat that one. I know for sure I beat this one though. But
Yeah.
man, let's get into it with going to our rating though. Since you went over what it's about,
Uh-huh.
let's tell everybody what do you think about the graphics. And obviously, we know it's PlayStation 1, so we're taking that in consideration, right? And anytime we do a
Yeah,
rating
definitely.
on graphics, we kind of go with at the time, right? We're not going at in 2023. What do you think about the graphics, man?
So graphics, as far as graphics go, I think they did the best they possibly could with PlayStation 1. To me, this is one of the highlights of the system. Especially, I was playing it emulated, so I was able to upscale it to a certain degree to like more HD, but you still have some wobbliness that comes with PlayStation, can also come with emulation too. Um, I'm sure no matter where you play this game, what really helps the most is the gameplay and you being immersed in it. And I think the graphics are passable in order to have a fun experience. Now, when they do the close-ups and everything, and they're talking, it can be jarring at first if you're
Yeah.
used to these AAA graphics and stuff. But after you get into the story, honestly, I didn't even notice it anymore. I was just invested in it. But graphics don't necessarily hold up, but you still got to think, this is PlayStation 1. So,
Yep.
um
Yep.
I kind of make them I would say passable is what I'm at.
Okay. Okay. I kind of agree with you there. Not to go too much into the graphics because the graphics is the graphics, man. It's just it is what it is. You already
Yeah.
kind of mentioned it, the poly figures, and 3D
Mhm.
figures. Um, I think the thing I like about the graphics the most, especially during the PS1 era, is kind of like Final Fantasy VII, is when they actually do the backgrounds is kind of like pictures, like they kind of zoom it away. You kind of have that 3D look around it a little bit.
Mhm.
That I'm talking about like that third person. I'm sorry, not 3D look, but that third person look. So you kind of get an
Mhm.
overview of the whole map from like top down, kind of. I kind of like that aspect to it. So, but I think the graphics, man, is speaking of like playing in 2023, like we're doing, right? Um, I think it's something you can definitely revisit and not sit here and just be like, "Oh, this is terrible." Do you
Right.
want? Are you going to be on a Jim Ryan side of hating him, hating past games, or are you going to be on the side that we that we're like, "Oh yeah, we can play with this," So if Jim Ryan
Yeah,
played
this
this
game
game,
totally holds up. Holds up and is still fun in 2023, but
absolutely. With the graphics being done, let's get into the music. Can you bring on a Solid Snake with that or something? Can you? Yeah.
this music is like they're all
Yeah.
bangers, dude.
Feel like
Here's
talking
some just
slow mo right
random.
now, though. Yeah.
Here's the Warhead storage facility. This one's pretty good. If it's the same one I'm thinking. No, actually it's not. Where's it at? There's the blast furnace. Listen to this one. My dude, it slaps. All of these slap. Really great music.
I love it.
But you know, I could go on.
I mean,
and
there's
on.
a whole
bunch
playlist you
of them
got,
here.
right? Is there like a whole
Yeah, this
playlist
is
or
a
something
whole
like that?
playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the main theme, which is this one, where it goes.
It kind of gets you going a little bit, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna kind of skip forward. Yeah, dude.
There you go. There you go.
So good.
Do you have the like Metal Gear music at the end? Do you have that by chance? Yeah. Just by
I
chance?
got that.
I gotta hear that again, man. It gets you so pumped up.
Rex's Lair?
Yeah.
You talking
That's
about
it.
that one?
That's it.
Talking about this one?
That's it. I believe that's it. Oh yeah, that hits. Cause you know what's about to happen.
What about this one? Oh, I don't know. There was one.
So,
I don't know.
Do you think the music? Do you think the music? Just giving a little scale. Let's just go 1 to 5 here. 1 to 5 scale. What do you think? Where does it stand at on this game?
4.5 for me. Like the music slaps.
Okay.
You got to remember the time and everything, but honestly, to me, it still holds up.
So I'm 4 for 5. I say 4 out of 5. And the reason I can't give any lower than a 4 is a self preference that I do like words a little bit more sometimes. And I know all this is just you know, if you're a musician like yourself, I know you play guitar. A lot of people probably don't know this, but Gray does play some very good guitar. So
and I sing too, boy.
And you sing. So see, I don't do either. So he's a musician. So I'm sure you appreciate the you know, the acoustics a little bit more probably than me.
Yeah, and on into the other games, they have games where there's more of the do you know how like James Bond has a song for every movie? It seems like they were kind of doing that on the games where they have an actual song of somebody singing. I remember Snake Eater. You know, there was a girl singing on that one, Snake Eater. She would go through the whole deal.
You know, that reminds me of like Sonic CD. They had a song on Sonic CD that
I love that song.
It was so you know what I'm talking about? You know what song I'm talking about? What?
I know what song you're talking about.
I wish we could find that song right now and just play it. But
my son loves it. What's the name of the song?
I can't remember. But it's taken from an actual song that they released.
Is it?
That's not it.
That's not it. I don't know what that is.
Isn't it? It's at the beginning of the game.
It's like na 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 tomorrow.
Just bust out like the guitar. It's like just start playing it yourself. You know. It's such a good song though. It gets me hyped every time I play that game. And they had to change it a little bit. You know, they did like they released a Sonic, I forget, like the old games they released this recently in HD and all this stuff. And they had Sonic CD released on, which is the first time ever they re-released Sonic CD. And they changed the song a little bit. It's not the same because I guess it was a copyright issue.
Different versions of that song that they've done over time.
I wish I could find
I know I don't remember
Sonic CD beginning song. Maybe that's it. So we can let everybody hear it and we can figure this out once and for all. Do here it is. Sonic CD intro.
Okay.
Who sings it though?
This isn't it, is it?
Can you hear that?
I'm playing it right now.
That's it. That's it.
This
That's
is
it.
it.
That's a song. I love that song, dude.
Oh, I was thinking of a different song.
Nope,
Because
that's
we
it.
play
But keep listening. It
song
gets better.
from-
It can't,
okay.
well, can't
Sonic
listen too much.
Generations. There's a song in that we've played.
There it is. Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom. Sonic
Classic.
Boom. Sonic Boom. That's it, man.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that. So I don't know where we was going with that. I forgot about it. But the music on each game, it does, like you said, I guess each one has a different kind of intro to their games and stuff. Metal
Mhm.
Gear. So it kind of reminded me when you said that about the Sonic, about how that song is like stapled on Sonic CD. So
Okay. So this is the one that I'm thinking of right here. This one.
oh yeah, I know that one too. Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, I remember that one too. I didn't play much of
Okay.
that game though. So you probably play that more
Okay.
than you play Sonic CD.
Me and my son, like, he loves this game, so we played
Okay.
through the whole thing, and I played it back in the day. But
Sorry guys,
this is a
sorry.
Sonic
Yeah, I
podcast now.
know. We just turned
We
into
got stuck
Sonic.
on some bangers. As far as bangers, like that one from Metal Gear Solid really sticks out. You know, na 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 na.
Yeah.
na. And then that opener that we did at the beginning of the show,
Oh yeah.
we can revisit that really quick.
Okay.
Um, you just keep on talking while I figure that out.
You're like, just keep talking, just keep doing something, you know. So you said 4.5.
Wait, this one. That scream, bro.
That means that you got to start over. Is what that means. 4.5, 4. I think that's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. For the music for this game. I know you're trying to look for and revisiting that beginning of the intro because it's so good as well. Or hey guys, check this out. You can just restart the podcast as many times as you want and just listen to the very beginning of it as many times as you want. We won't charge you a dime.
I tell you what, and we're gonna get into this when we get to the voice acting. But the chick that's like snake, snake, she's got like the saddest scream ever.
Yeah, like she just lost a
this
husband or
might be
something.
it. Let me see if this is her.
Nope.
No, so that's the dude. So there's another one.
Not that one.
Got that. Let's see. No, it's the same guy. I can't find it, but there's a lady on there.
It's Naomi.
That she's.
Oh, is it
yes,
Chi? It's Chi.
It might be Chi, but she's like snake.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Lays it out there.
Yeah,
so good. But,
what's the next thing you want to go over with this game, man? What's the next?
Let's go over story, dude.
Okay,
story.
Go with it.
Story
go ahead and roll.
Is all over the place. Like, I don't know. There's whole YouTube videos dedicated to trying to sum up the story of Metal Gear Solid. There's like one twist after another where he learns that he has a brother named Liquid. He learns that the Colonel is actually lying to him about this thing, but then also the Colonel's being double crossed here, and like the whole story of what he thinks is actually
he suspected
happening.
The Colonel from the very beginning. I've realized that, by the way,
but
too.
Like they end up still being friends and everything, like how it ends up. And then you have Snake, who thinks he's there for a particular mission, but actually the guys who were there, who took over the base, actually wanted him there so that he could figure out the codes to get Metal Gear actually started. So there's all kind of like hidden things happening. It's nearly impossible to try to sum up the story all in one go. I would just say it was there's a lot that went into the story, and it screams out to me really like anime. It's really because the guy who developed this story, is he's the same guy that did Death Stranding, among other games. And if you've ever played that game too, it's all over the place. It's like a soap opera. There's like one thing after another.
Yeah.
Um, I'd
Yeah.
say the story is so imaginative and amazing, but I think overdone at times. Like it could be a lot simpler in many aspects, but I think it's very Japanese how it's approached.
Yeah. I agree. I'm gonna kind of let you kind of go with the story a little bit because it's been so long. I didn't finish the game this time, but I played about 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours of it. Maybe 3 or 4 hours, something like that. And what I got out of it, that little bit that I had out of it, you already had the double crossing. You had like the flirtatious side of it with Solid Snake, and you hear Liquid Snake saying, "Just let him come to me," like he was playing with them
Uh-huh.
a little bit. I got all the way to the tank guy. I feel like they still have those boss stages where you play these bosses and you kind of got to really figure out what's happening with that. I know that goes kind of into the gameplay, but the story
Mhm.
aspect to it, I feel like kind of keeps you going into it a little bit more. And I really love the comm system where you can call at any time. So you feel connected to those people that you have as a
Yes.
phone call, I feel like. So that kind of keeps the story element going because it changes constantly in reference to calling people. So I think it's a really cool thing to kind of have that situation. Now, as far as the story goes, I'll let you kind of handle that about how it ends up. I do remember the ending of it, but I was young.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a good game overall, man. The story, if I had to give that a rating, I don't know if you want to go with 1 through 5 or 1 through 10 on it, but I'll just say it's a great story. That's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, it's a great story. I mean, it's all over the place, but so there's actually two different endings to this game. So there's a torture scene where you're being electrocuted and you got to tap like X, I think,
I
over
do,
and over
yeah.
in order to keep your
Believe it or
life
not,
up.
that's like one of my
And
favorite scenes.
yeah, yeah. And dude, man, like I tried, I was like putting buttons on the back triggers of my Steam Deck. I could not do it. And so I end up having to give up because if you don't give up and you can't hit the buttons fast enough, you die. Like it just kills you.
Yeah,
So I ended up you have to hit the select button in order to give up. And if you do that, they end up torturing Meryl instead. You don't see it
oh,
or anything, but she's
forgot
already
about.
been shot and she's with them. So
Mm,
if you don't complete the torture scene, at the end of the game, she's dead. Like they bring her body and everything, and she's dead. But if you're able to get past the torture scene, she's still alive, and I think you end up together.
I think I
So
remember that vaguely. I think I do.
hmm so on my playthrough, I end up with Otacon, and we kind of drive off into the sunset, and we're just like, oh, we're buddies now,
Hmm.
which is weird. It was kind of
So
a
what
strange
happened
ending.
with you see during the game? There is this ninja that
Yeah.
is that. What's his name? Is that Octagon? Is that Octagon?
No,
Okay.
Otacon is the scientist
So the
that's there.
ninja that just serial killer aspect to him that just slaughters everybody in the
Yeah,
hall.
the
I still
ninja
remember
was
that scene,
from
by the way, when I was young. Maybe I was too young to
yeah.
play the game, but I remember walking in the hallway and everybody's
Uh-huh.
just dead, just
There's bodies
slaughtered,
everywhere.
bodies everywhere, and he's just
Yeah.
slicing them all up. He cuts off Ocelot's arm during the battle too, which is pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
But in later games, he actually still has the arm cut off, which is pretty cool in later games.
Yeah.
But what
Cyborg
happened with
Ninja.
him? Yeah, what happened with him?
So the Cyborg Ninja, I believe, was somebody who fought Snake in an older game, and that's actually Naomi's brother, which is you find out is not actually her brother, but is
Oh, I think they
actually
say
a
that. Yeah.
soldier who found her and actually was the one that murdered her parents. But and like all this kind of develops over time.
Yeah.
So he ended up like raising her as her as her brother. So she loves him and everything. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and he was brought back as a cyborg. And at at first, all he wants to do is fight Snake and kind of wants to kill him. but
Yeah.
then at the end he ends up like helping, um, and he's kind of a good
Well, he
guy
could have
again.
killed Snake from the very beginning, but he didn't do it at the very beginning.
Well,
As
yeah,
well, you know.
and you end up fighting him too, and he's pretty difficult because he's fast as crap.
I mean, guys, I mean, literally, what we're saying here, though, we kind of just even talking about it, you kind of figure out there's different kind of storylines branches off from here, like Naomi and the crazy killer ninja. You
Uh
got
huh.
that storyline. You got Liquid Snake and Solid Snake's storyline. You got probably the generals. You got all these different. Octagon or whatever what did you call his name? Octagon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got different storylines so much on each person, different
Otacon, yeah.
Otacon, different things that's going on and on with all these characters. So kind of giving these characters kind of a sense of like, Meryl of, hey, you're going to kill Meryl if you don't complete this torture scene. It kind of gives you a sense like, oh, you actually care about Meryl. I don't want to kill Meryl,
Yeah,
So it kind of makes you, instead of just going through the game, like, I don't care, whatever. Like you care about these characters, kind of like the
yeah.
game Last of Us, when somebody dies, you're going to care about it so much they're going to
And
revolt.
like
But
you were saying, the more you talk to people on the comms, is the more you get kind of invested in all of that because the
mhm,
voice acting is really great.
yeah.
And there's a lot of talking if you want to listen to all of it because you can talk to any of them at any point. And
Well, that was the
the
most fun.
civilian name, hmm?
That was the most fun is even remembering that you get to a point where you actually remember the numbers of, like, it's like a
Oh,
phone number.
yeah.
You remember pretty much their phone number when you go to call
Yep.
them, which I thought was always cool. To kind of learn at some point, but
And I think there's some like Easter eggs in there if you dial a certain number. I remember so I had to dial a certain number that they said was on the back of the disc, like on the back of the
that was at the
CD
beginning.
case.
Cheese number, wasn't it? No,
Cheese
Naomi's
was
mo.
it might have been. There was one that supposedly was on the back of the CD case and I had to look it
I had
up
to
to
look
see
it
what it
up as
was.
well. Yeah, yeah, because we didn't have the
And
case, obviously.
I was like, this is so stinking cool. Like,
Yeah,
how neat is that? So
yeah, I
the
do.
cyborg ninja, his name is Frank Yeager.
Okay.
Um, and they said he appears in Metal Gear Solid 2
He does.
as the primary antagonist.
Yep.
So
I do remember that. So I
I
always
don't
thought he
know
was so
how he
cool,
comes
man.
back,
I
but
used to think he was so
yeah,
cool
he's
because he
super
moves
cool.
so fast. I think at some point you actually get to play him. I think I remember that.
So I remember that Raiden gets turned into a cyborg.
Okay,
Um, Raiden came about in the second one,
maybe that's
and
it.
then eventually he had his own game called Metal Gear Rising, I think, where you have a
Okay,
sword
yeah,
and
that's
you
it.
can chop stuff in half and all that. Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Mm,
Well,
that
with
might
that,
be.
with the story, I rate it as great, man. It was a great story, and not just good, but it was great, something to come back to all the time.
Oh yeah.
What about you?
Oh yeah, great. I mean, it's fun to get invested in it and to see all the twists and turns. You got to kind of park your brain at the door and just let yourself be entertained by it. Honestly, you can't
Yeah,
take it too seriously.
I agree. All right, so we got, well, we went music, graphics. We went graphics, music, story.
Story.
Now
Now we
let's
got
go
gameplay, baby.
gameplay. So
So, dude, I thought I was gonna be like pissed off with the tank controls, because I'm used to going to first person and stuff. And there
yeah,
actually is there's a cheat code I could put in on Ducky Station to where it makes the game in first person, which is really neat. But the controls were still a bit wonky, so I kept it in third. And you can look around in first person, which is really neat. I bet that was a big deal
yeah.
back then too. But I think the gameplay is pretty fantastic. I mean, there's some things that are a bit clunky just because it's PlayStation One, but I wish they would have worked more on the shooting because it's kind of an auto aim thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there was times where I had to switch between um, using a gun And I like that when you choose like a weapon, time stops and you can kind of like take your time and choose your next move. I like that aspect of it. And there were certain times where you had to like unequip a weapon and maybe go hand to hand so that you could do a
Mm-hmm.
certain thing,
Yep.
or maybe switch over to a grenade or something. I found myself really enjoying it. I'm glad that they kind of developed it over time to something different, but I think back in the day it was kind of groundbreaking.
I believe so. I think to the point of the auto aim, I kind of liked it a little bit more.
Mhm.
But as far as groundbreaking wise, like you said, I think it was, especially the first person view kind of moved kind of slow to me, which kind of bothered me a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, the crawling was kind of slow, obviously, and it was kind of like stepping down, then laying down. You know what I'm saying? When you move, then you lay
Sure.
down. So they has some things, but you got to remember it's PlayStation 1 era. So you're not able to have as much versatility as you do in these games that we're so used to now. So I just feel like there was a couple changes that I would like, that I would have liked, but I'm hampering those expectations because of PS1. Uh, I like the sounds. I think the sounds is the best part. You know, like when you found, you're like, ding, you know, that sound that like you just got
Yeah.
located and stuff. And it actually
Yeah.
shows an exclamation point above their head. So that gameplay, and
Mhm.
when that happens, and you kind of get a rush, you're like, oh, here comes everybody. You know, I got to hide. And I remember one time I hid in a ventilation shaft outside after they found me, and I hid there. I was like, man, I don't want to do the loading screen. I just want to like hide in this little thing and maybe they'll go away. Man, they started chunking grenades in there and they ended up killing me inside the shaft.
That's crazy.
I'm like, who think really they're not supposed to be able to do this? This is PlayStation 1. Like, there's no way. Yeah, that's the sound.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I'm like, they literally was started chunking grenades. I'm in first person view and you see grenades being chunked in the shaft and they kill me. And then you hear the ending, you know,
Yeah.
the lights or whatever. But gameplay, I think, is very great for its time, kind of groundbreaking. I love the third person view as well. I love the you can't get a game better than Metal Gear Solid in reference to being like pretty much a ninja or a what do you call it? Somebody that just sneaks
Stealth.
around, a stealth game.
Stealth
That's what I'm
game.
going for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they kind of built the genre. I mean,
I think they
I'm
did.
sure other games did some of it, but it kind of started a new thing, I think.
Yeah. With that being said, the best part of it is what's your fun rating on this? Do you believe it's still something fun to play? By the
Yeah.
looks of it, by the sounds of it, it looks like that you think so.
Yeah, so I kind of gauge this on if I'm excited to come back and play it, or is it more just a chore so I can like finish the game. And I found myself being excited about coming back to finish it out because I didn't know what to expect next. Like I didn't know what the next thing was. I was gonna have to like figure out what the next fight was, what the next battle was, what the next weapon was I was gonna find, what the next obstacle I was just gonna have to like use my stealth action abilities as Solid Snake to do. So I think the fun factor is there even now. I mean, you have all these different games which have done amazing things, but this kind of built the foundation for a lot of games. And I think the fun factor definitely holds up. You got to have your
Yep.
mind in the right place, though. Like if you're expecting a AAA action experience, it doesn't play like that. It
Like
plays
a
a
lot
bit
of these
slower.
kids like these days.
Yeah, exactly. You have to get immersed in what the game is. And once you get your mind there, which I don't think is hard to do, then the fun factor's there. It's really cool.
Gray, I just want to say I agree with you 100% on this. So I'm not going to have any change of rating or anything in reference to funability. But
Uh-huh.
I agree with you that you hit. Kids these days, they want the action, they want the fast pace and stuff. But the thing that I love about it is you have to get immersed in this game. like you said, if you get immersed, you kind of get a feeling that you're kind of part of that game. You know, it's kind of like a movie. When you get into a movie so much, you
Yes.
forget about your surroundings. You get immersed. You're waiting for the next movie, for the next movie, the next move, the next thing to happen. And I feel like with this game, it got you so immersed. It was a start of the end for Metal Gear Solid, and hopefully one day they'll start it back up and do some remasters. But which they
Yeah.
just released a little bit, an HD one. But I'm talking about like a true remaster or remake of it. But this game, funability wise, I'm with you 100% with, man. It was fun to play. Even if I played for 3 or 4 hours, it was fun just to go back to. I ended up staying up to 2 in the morning one night, playing Metal Gear, and I'm like, oh man, I got to go to bed, like because I got so immersed into that game. So
Oh yeah, and that's the thing with the director of the game, Hideo Kojima. I don't even think we've even said that yet.
mm-mm.
Hideo Kojima, his whole thing was wanting to make an experience that was like a movie. So, that's
Well,
why
there
you
you
have
go.
so many cutscenes, so many lines of dialogue. Like he really invests in because, like, dude, if you notice, there's all these different like angles for the cutscenes. There's some like really imaginative things that he was doing on PlayStation 1 that I don't think a lot of people did as far as the cutscenes go.
Dude, I love the
Like,
game. I tell you right now, the whole reason I love the game so much is the cutscenes. That's the whole reason that I love
yeah,
that so much is because of the cutscenes. So,
they're really, really good.
and like I said, it's so memorable. Think about it. I beat this thing at like 16, 17, something like that, years old. And I still remember the ending of this game and the cutscene a little bit and stuff. So it's definitely
Yeah,
left an impression, right? Um,
for sure.
Great. Let's get a drum roll. This is the part everybody's been waiting for. What do you think about the GG rating for the original Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation 1?
Hold on one second. Hold on, I have a call. Okay, I need to answer this. Okay. So
Uh, is it Naomi? Is it Merle?
it's wait, hold on. Where
It's
is it at? Dang it.
It's Snake.
Oh, hi Snake. Okay. So man,
Anyways, no.
I give I give this game really close to a 5, bro. Like I think it's so special.
Is that out of 10 or
Um
1 out of 5?
I don't know. So we're kind of changing our rating system, aren't we? To
Yeah, I
where
think so because we've been doing 10, and you notice we've been going with fives on this episode a
I'm
little
not
bit.
even looking at the numbers. I'm just saying this is a great game, worth playing.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
I think maybe we gotta. I think we're gonna do a little changes, as you can tell, guys, in reference to the rating system a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But we mostly wanted to get another GG rating out here. Gray and me decided on Metal Gear because it was so close to us back when we was younger. And I think the best way to go about this on this game, definitely since it being an older game, is it a great game to play in 2023 or not? And I think what Gray said, it's a great game. I'm gonna have to go with that. I'm gonna have to go the same and say it's a
Yep.
great game. You know, it ain't.
Great game, baby.
It's a great game. We'll label it with the great game. Throw it up there, and we'll leave it at that.
Sound like a doctor.
We could just play that all day. Like instead of talking, just have soundboards talking to each other. You know.
Only beautiful women like yourself.
Okay, chill out, Snake. Yeah, great game.
It is 2023. So.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
It is, dude. It is great. Like, if you had to give it a 1 out of 10, I'd say we were like in the 9s territory.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah, I agree. With Metal Gear, it's one of those games that it's really up there. I would probably give it it's probably 9. I'll give it a solid 9.
A solid 9.
Solid
all
9.
day.
Is that what you going with? A 9? Would you go with a 9?
Yeah, solid 9.
I think I'm going to agree with you. It's kind of crazy. I know you're like, oh, y'all saying the same thing, but man, I think 9 is very fair, and you can't go lower than 9s on that Metal Gear game.
Dude, especially because like you beat it back in the day and still have fond memories for it. and I just beat it. And it's like we both kind of met there, and we both think from both generations, it's still great.
Yeah.
So
So how can you say any lower than that? Guys, I hope you enjoyed the GG rating for Metal Gear Solid. I talked to Gray. I'm trying to get him on board on this, but I'm thinking we're going to probably do a little show or maybe a stream in reference to some NFL Blitz, kind of throwing it back so I can show everybody me being Josh's tail or whatever. So
okay, we'll see.
But it's been a while since we played some NFL Blitz, so we got to throw that in there at some point. So y'all make sure y'all follow and hit that notification bell. So whenever we do play, you'll get that notification when we go live in reference to that. But we appreciate y'all coming and joining in today with us.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining. This was really fun. Sorry, that was a little loud. Thank you for
that
joining
works.
the Metal Gear Solid podcast. The GG rating for Metal Gear Solid.
I was
if you wanna
hoping you
reach
was
out
going to
to
say
us-
podcast one time on the show.
Podcast. If you want to reach out to us, hit us up at GGratedChannel@gmail.com. That's the place to talk to us.
Or
Just
in the
tell us how
YouTube
we
chat.
just massacred the story from
comment.
Metal Gear Solid and all the things that we left out. We didn't even try to go too deep into it, but
No.
there's so much there.
But if you don't agree
the
with it,
situation is so serious.
let us
Why
know.
don't you give in to their demands?
I don't know, Snake.
Yeah.
I
Never
will in
mind.
the future.
Is that right?
Yes, that is right. I'm sorry. I'm just carrying a conversation with myself.
With Solid Snake over here.
What were you saying, buddy?
No, I was just saying, if they don't even agree with it, hey, leave a comment down below. Put in the YouTube comments down below and leave us, send us an email like Josh said, or leave us a comment and say, hey, look, I don't agree with that. I think it was a terrible game and it's absolutely disgusting and we should never play it again. Hey, if that's how you feel, let us know. But it's
Let
a
us
great
know.
game. We're going to say you're absolutely wrong, but it's a great game.
That's right.
But great. Hey, I appreciate seeing you again this week, man. And I look forward to it again and beating your tail on some NFL Blitz later on. And that's all I got, man. You want to drop that outro song, bro?
Yeah, let's do it. Are we dropping the usual, or are we going?
Drop
with
the
it?
usual, baby. You got to play it.
Oh.
You got to play that usual.
Okay.
You know which one I'm
Well, you
talking
just
about,
keep
right?
on talking and entertain the people.
You know which one I'm talking about. Let's drop it in there.
Drop
You
it
know, the
in there.
infinite ammunition. Infinite.
Yeah.
That's it.
Here we go, baby. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Guys, we appreciate it.
So anyway, smells pretty rotten to me.